Now the spirit has crossed into Abina's family. In this part, the tension will rise further with the village beginning to notice strange signal. Abina could not sleep that night. He sat outside on the wooden bench in front of their compound, staring at the moonlit sky, his mind in turmoil. The Harmattan wind was cold, yet sweat clung to his back. Inside the hut, Ades finally lay still, exhausted from the violent episode. Maman Kekai had placed a bowl of water by her side, whispering prayers as she wiped her daughter's forehead. Abina clenched his fists. This spirit has declared war. But why us? Why now? As he sat, a shadow fell across the compound. He looked up to see his uncle, Uncle Ez, approaching. Ez was his late father's younger brother, a tall man with a scar across his cheek and a reputation for drinking too much palm wine. Abina Uncle Ez greeted in a low voice. I heard shouting. What happened here tonight? Abina hesitated, but the fear in his chest pushed the truth out. Uncle, it was Ades. She was possessed. And I heard the spirit's voice again. Uncle Ez's face darkened immediately. He glanced around, as if checking that no one else could hear. Then he grabbed Abina's arm firmly. Come with me. They walked through the village, their footsteps crunching softly on the sandy path. The night was eerily silent, even the dogs had stopped barking. Finally, they stopped under a giant iroko tree. Uncle Ez turned to him, his eyes fierce. Abina, listen carefully. Our family has a secret, one your mother has tried to keep from you. But now, since the spirit has already found you, you must know the truth. Abina's pulse quickened. What truth? Uncle Ez looked up at the stars before speaking. Our grandfather, Ozo Amena, was the chief custodian of Ogvugvu Ici. For years, he served the spirit faithfully, offering sacrifices, leading rituals, and keeping the covenant. The spirit gave him wealth, power, and many sons. But when the white missionaries came, Ozo Amena turned his back on the shrine. He declared himself a Christian, abandoned the sacrifices, and even burned some of the sacred objects. The spirit warned him, but he did not listen. Abina's stomach knotted. So, what happened? Uncle Ez's voice dropped. The spirit struck. His first son died mysteriously. His barns caught fire. His yam harvest turned to ash. One by one, his children fell. When he finally died, his corpse refused to rest. They buried him 3 times, but each morning, his body would be found sitting upright at the graveside. Abina shuddered. I heard whispers of that story, but I thought it was just folktale. It was no tale, Uncle Ez said grimly. It was a curse. Since then, every generation of our family has suffered. Your father tried to resist, but he too paid with his life. Now the spirit has come for his life. Now the spirit has come for you. Abina felt his knees weaken. Then what can I do? How do I stop it? Uncle Ez sighed heavily. Stopping Ogvugvu Ici is not easy. Some say only a blood sacrifice can appease it. Others say a chosen one must destroy the shrine completely, though none who tried lived to tell the tale. You must choose carefully, Abina, for whichever path you take will change the fate of our entire bloodline. The next morning, the village woke to strange happenings. In the marketplace, a goat suddenly ran mad, attacking people until it was cut down. In the stream, fish floated lifeless on the surface, their eyes glazed white. Women drawing water screamed and fled. The elders gathered under the Adela tree, murmuring among themselves. The spirits are restless, one said. Something has been disturbed, another muttered. Rumors spread quickly. Ogvugvu Ici had awakened. Children were told not to play near the bush. Traders whispered that sacrifices would soon be demanded. And everywhere Abina went, people looked at him differently, as if they knew he was at the center of it all. That night, Abina sat by Ada's mat, watching her fragile breathing. He could not let the spirit take her. He could not let it destroy his family. For the first time, a burning determination lit his heart. If his bloodline had caused the spirit's wrath, then he would be the one to end it, even if it cost him his life. We've now revealed the family curse fully. The village has begun to sense the spirit's unrest, and Abina is starting to show determination to fight. 1. Where the spirit makes its demands clear and Abina begins to step into his role in the unfolding vengeance. The next few days in Umweka were unlike any the villagers had seen in years. A heavy gloom seemed to hang over the community. Birds stopped singing at dawn, and the air felt unusually heavy, like before a violent storm. Old women muttered that the ancestors were angry. Hunters returned from the forest with empty hands, saying the animals had all vanished deeper into the bush. In Abina's compound, Ada's condition worsened. By day, she appeared weak and feverish, but at night, her body shook with unseen convulsions. Sometimes she muttered strange words in a language no one understood. Other times, her small voice would deepen into the same chilling growl Abina had heard in the shrine: "The debt must be paid." Each time this happened, Maman Kekai would cry and hold her daughter tightly, rocking back and forth. "Chinik Muo, my God, why are you allowing this?" she would wail. But her prayers seemed to vanish into the silent night. Abina could not stand it any longer. Watching his sister suffer tore his heart apart. He decided he would confront the spirit directly. At dawn, before the cock crowed, Abina rose from his mat. He carried his cutlass, not as a weapon but as a companion. It gave him courage, even if he knew it was useless against a spirit. He walked quietly past the sleeping compound and took the same bush path as before. The forest seemed to recognize him this time. The trees swayed gently as though bowing. The path cleared itself without struggle, leading him to the same clearing. The shrine stood waiting, unchanged, yet alive. As Abina stepped closer, the air thickened, and the ground vibrated with a low hum. Then, like smoke forming into shape, the spirit appeared again. The red eyes glowed brighter than before. "You have returned," the voice rumbled. Abina stood tall, though his knees trembled. "Leave my family alone. If it's me you want, take me, but do not touch my sister again." The spirit's laugh echoed like distant thunder. "Brave words, son of Namdai, but you cannot bargain with vengeance. Blood has been spilled, promises have been broken, the debt must be repaid fully." Abina's grip tightened on his cutlass. "Then tell me what you want." The spirit's smoky form shifted, swirling like a whirlwind. When it spoke again, its words were like a judgment: "Bring a sacrifice. A life for a life. Only then will the curse sleep again." Abina's heart stopped. A human sacrifice." The spirit's silence was the answer. Abina stumbled back, horrified. He had heard of such things in old stories but never imagined it would be demanded of him. "I will never kill an innocent person," he shouted. The red eyes flared brighter. "Then your family will wither one by one. Your sister will be the first, then your mother, then you, until your bloodline is erased from this earth." The ground shook violently, knocking Abina to his knees. The stones of the shrine rattled, and the torn red cloths fluttered madly as if caught in an unseen storm. Then, just as suddenly, everything fell silent. The spirit was gone. Abina staggered back home, his mind spinning. The spirit's demand echoed in his ears: "A life for a life." When he entered the compound, Maman Kekai was waiting with swollen eyes. "Where have you been?" she asked hoarsely. Abina hesitated. He wanted to tell her the truth, but he saw the despair already on her face. Instead, he simply said, "Mama, I will find a way. I won't let Ades die." Maman Kekai studied him for a long moment, then turned away silently. That evening, Abina went again to see Mama Ifeoma. The old woman listened quietly as he described the spirit's demand. When he finished, she shook her head slowly. "I feared this. Ogvugvu Isia was never merciful. Once angered, it only demands blood." Abina's voice cracked. "But how can I kill an innocent person, Mama Ifeoma? That would make me no different from the wicked men who offered human sacrifices in the past." Mama Ifeoma's eyes softened with pity. "Then you must prepare for war, my son, because refusing the spirit's demand means it will strike harder. And once it begins, it will not stop until your entire family is destroyed." Abina buried his face in his hands. "So either I sacrifice an innocent person, or I lose everyone I love." The old woman reached out and touched his shoulder. "Sometimes, Abina, the path to freedom is hidden in darkness. But remember this: no curse lasts forever. There may yet be another way. But it will cost you everything." Abina lifted his head, determination burning through his fear. "Then I will find that way. I will not kill for the spirit, but I will not let it destroy us either. If I must fight, then I will fight." Mama Ifeoma looked into his eyes for a long time, then nodded slowly. "So be it. The battle has begun." That night, as the village settled into uneasy sleep, the wind carried a strange sound through Umwaka. Some said it was just the rustle of trees. Others swore it was laughter, dark, cold, and hungry. The spirit of vengeance was awake, and it was watching. The shrine revealed. Abina marked by the spirit. The family curse explained. The first spiritual attack on 8 days. The spirits demand for human sacrifice. Abina's decision to resist the next day. The entire village buzzed with fear. Word had spread that Ogvugvu Isi was awake. Some villagers swore they had seen a figure with glowing red eyes roaming the forest at night. Others whispered that the river had turned red for a moment before clearing again. The elders gathered urgently in the square, their faces grave. The oldest among them, Ichi raised his walking stick and spoke with a trembling voice. My people, the signs are clear. The spirit of vengeance is restless. Long ago, our fathers bound themselves to it. Now, because of broken promises, it demands blood again. If we do not act quickly, calamity will befall Yumwaka. The villagers murmured, their eyes wide with fear. Some demanded that sacrifices be offered immediately. Others shouted that the church should be called upon to pray. Division grew among them, and suspicion fell heavily on Abina's family. Is it not from his lineage that this curse began? One man shouted. His grandfather was the one who abandoned the shrine. Yes, another woman cried. And his father died mysteriously. Now strange things are happening again. Should we all suffer because of one family's sins? Abina, who had been standing at the edge of the crowd, felt every accusing eye turn toward him. His stomach churned, but he stood tall. I will not run, he said loudly, his voice carrying across the square. If Ogvugvu Isi is awake because of my family, then I will face it. But hear me well, I will not spill innocent blood. If the spirit wants me, let it come for me alone. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Some saw courage in his words, others saw foolishness. But no one could deny the fire in his eyes. That night, the spirit struck again. As the moon hung pale in the sky, the villagers were awakened by the sound of wailing. In the next compound, a young boy had died in his sleep, healthy by day, lifeless by dawn. His mother screamed until her voice broke. People whispered that Ogvugvu Isi had taken its first offering. The fear in the village deepened, and the pressure on Abina mounted. Men muttered that if he did not act, more lives would be lost. Women avoided his family, dragging their children away whenever his sisters passed. Even the local pastor preached that dark powers are moving among us and prayed fervently against ancestral spirits. Abina sat alone by the stream, his reflection rippling in the moonlight. He thought of Ade's frail body, of his mother's tired eyes, of the accusing stares of the villagers. He clenched his fists. No more running, he whispered. If the spirit wants vengeance, then it will have to fight me for it. The following morning, Abina returned to Mama Ifeoma. Teach me, he said firmly. Whatever I need to know, whatever I need to do, I will not give Ogvugvu Isi what it wants. But I will not let it destroy us either. Show me how to fight. The old woman studied him for a long while, then gave a slow nod. Very well. But know this, Abina, the path you are choosing is not one of ease. You will face trials beyond human understanding. You will see things no man should see. And if your heart is not strong, the spirit will break you. I am ready, Abina replied, his voice steady. Mama Ifeoma rose with surprising strength for her age. She went into her hut and returned with a small leather pouch, tied with cowries and red thread. She placed it in Abina's hands. This is not a weapon, she explained. It is a shield. Inside are herbs and charms prepared long ago by those who defied Ogvugvu Isi. Carry it with you always. It will not destroy the spirit, but it may delay its wrath. In the meantime, we must search for a greater truth, the secret of the shrine itself. Only by uncovering its origin can we hope to end its reign. Abina tightened his grip on the pouch. For the first time since his father's death, he felt a glimmer of hope. That night, as Abina returned home, he stopped at the edge of the forest. He looked toward the hidden path that led to the shrine. The wind whispered through the trees, and faintly, he heard the spirit's voice again. You cannot escape me, son of Namdai. The debt must be paid. If you will not give me blood, then I will take it myself. Abina raised his chin, his jaw set. Then come and take it, he said quietly. But you will not break me. The forest fell silent, as if holding its breath. And in that silence, Abina knew the war had only just begun. Introduces Abina and his cursed bloodline. Reveals the forgotten shrine of Ogvugvu Isi. Establishes the spirit's vengeance and demand for blood. Shows the village's fear and suspicion. Ends with Abina choosing to resist and prepare for war. If you enjoyed Chapter 1 of Vengeance of the Spirits, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Your support keeps this story alive and helps us continue the journey. See you in episode